Is that better? Okay, let's try that again. Can you hear me? Okay, now you can hear me. Cool. I'm so sorry about that. I'll do I'll do that intro again. But it was basically me saying that the plan for today is to paint some loose florals. I have been gifted some new like 100% cotton watercolor paper that I'm going to explore with. And I've also just haven't had a lot of time to like paint in a relaxing way, and that is basically what I really need. So I thought that it would be fun if we did that together. So if you also want to bring out your art supplies, please do. Hi, if you're watching live, thank you so much for joining, and hi to everyone who's going to watch this on the replay as well. But yeah, I'm just really curious to know if anyone's also painting. What have you guys been up to? Obviously, there's been a lot of technical difficulties recently, which has made me miss you guys. I feel like I haven't I haven't seen you or painted with you or chat with you in a while. So I'm really looking forward to it, basically. Sorry about the noise, but hopefully, perfect. Hopefully you can now hear me. Good. Don't know what happened there. So tell me where you're watching from and if you are also creating. And if you're painting, and if you are going to paint, what are you planning on painting? Let me show you. So I went to an event, and there I met this lovely lady who gifted me this paper. Let me show you. Let's make this big. I know, I'm so glad that you're here, Amy, and everyone. Dark roast. Dark roast, I have missed you. It's only 10 p.m. Yeah, this is earlier than my usual live streams, I must admit. Watching while doing the dishes. That's completely fine. Thank you for joining. But yeah, I've been gifted this paper like really randomly. We were just talking about art supplies, and I was like, huh, I haven't heard this brand before. So maybe it's a bit risky to like paint with it live, but I was kind of curious, and I haven't got like any square watercolor paper. So it's 18 centimeters by 18 centimeters or 7 inches by 7 inches. It is rough, which I don't normally work with. So this should be interesting. High white, 300 GSM, 100% cotton. And it's an Estonian brand called Kunst and Hobi. But their watercolor paper is called Aurora. And it comes with 20 sheets. And can you see? It's got a good amount of texture. It's a block, so it's glued on all 4 sides, and then it has like a little gap here. Fine, we'll see. We will test it out. Hey, Plasma, welcome. I believe you are new. Welcome to the fun. And the Mightier Pencil, creating a cityscape. I look forward to seeing it on Ko-fi. Hey, Paolo. Welcome. So I feel like recently, because I've been doing the my Ko-fi challenge, I haven't been painting florals. Shocking. I know. I've been like really enjoying that challenge, and so I feel excited to get started. I've got this book, which you guys have probably seen to death on YouTube. It's called The Flower Color Theory, and it's got essentially like beautiful bouquets. And as well as that, it also has like the color palettes on the side. So I was and ahhing about getting this and about whether I should get the other one, which is each individual flower as opposed to like bouquets. But I kind of felt like one thing I really want to work on is like trying out different compositions. I also want to like explore with color a bit more. So I thought that this would be the perfect book for me. And so far so good. Like I've created a few pieces, and oh, that's nice. I've created a few pieces with it, like just primarily being inspired by, this is so nice for me, primarily just being inspired by the color palettes and the shapes of their compositions. So we might do that together. The only thing I wish is that, and which a lot of people have kind of like said and commented on, is just that, every single bouquet stretches across 2 pages, which means that a little bit of it is kind of lost in the middle, I feel like. But it's not a massive deal. Oh, hey, Colleen. Hey, Mrs. Z. Ooh, long time watcher, first time stream watcher. Welcome to the fun, Plasma. So should we... Let's start. I kind of want to give it a bit of a background. I know it doesn't have one, but I kind of feel like a nice, light, almost peachy background will be quite nice. I'm using the Roman Schmincke watercolors, which I'll link down below, and you guys know I love already. And as well as that, I am also using, what is this? The Raven Size 2 by Jackson's. I'm just doing like a loose and light, hopefully getting a bit darker than I want, background. And I kind of want to make it a bit peachy. So I'm adding a little bit of the Cherry Queen Red in there. Although I must say, so I like Cherry Queen Red, but I miss my, whoops, I'm getting watercolor all over it. I miss my permanent alizarin crimson. I'm contemplating bringing it back, Oh, Mrs. Z, 100% cotton. See, do you want to use today as an excuse to use it? Which paper did you decide to get? There are so many different types, and to be fair, the vast majority are absolutely wonderful to work on. And that's coming from me. I was quite late to the game because I was like, no, I don't want to spend. But I think it, depends on how you're going to use it, and like in terms of the art that you like to create. And we'll see if I'll add some gouache to this later. Also, so just picking up little bits of that Cherry Queen Red. I just want like a super, super light background because I'm going to be watercoloring over the top. And because I don't know if you can tell recently, if you tell me, are you on like my Instagram? No pressure if you're not. But the reason that I ask is just that I've been sharing a lot more on the stories there. Just like my day-to-day stuff, thoughts, questions, just random stuff. And as well as that, I've been sharing a lot more of the art that I've been creating. I guess one of the perks, or the only good thing that's come from the like technical difficulties that I was having, is that technically I have more time to paint. So I've been painting a lot more, and I've really, really, really been drawn to complementary colors. So I think that's why I initially saw this and I was like, yeah, this is perfect. And I think if you look, I wasn't initially doing it on purpose, but then, when you look back and you see it and it's quite an obvious thing. But if you were to look back on it, on my Instagram, you would see lots of complementary color palettes, which has been fun and also brought challenges in that, you mix them, you make neutrals, but I like really bright and punchy paintings, I guess. So I don't want to make them neutral. But it's definitely been fun. Oh, hey, Melissa. Just reading on the comments. And as I do, I'm going to mute this real quick so that I can dry it. And then I will catch up. So far, so good. No harsh blooms. Okay, I'm back, and it is primarily light. Is that the Flower Color Theory book? It is indeed Flower Color Theory. So they have two. I can't remember what the other one's called, but one has just the individual flowers and the other one has bouquets. But because I want to work on compositions and shapes and different colors, I figured that this would be the perfect one for me. That's really weird, Mrs. Z. I don't know why they would do that. Reason I'm looking around is I got so I just released my last video, which went up a few hours ago, was on the brushes that I was very kindly gifted by Paint in Hiding. And as a result of them, as a result of her gift, I fell in love with the brushes and the dagger brush specifically. So I bought myself another dagger brush, and this one's the 1/2 inch Rosemary & Co series 311. It's synthetic. The reason I'm looking around is I feel like it might be too big for this. And normally, like, big is good because, you know, you're a bit looser, but not too big, you know. But I've been painting so much that only God knows where I've put my other one, which is the 3/8 inch, which I always struggle to say. Just looking around, I may just have to suck it up and paint. I wonder where I put it. Anyway, I'll just use the bigger one. We live and we learn. Yeah, no, the brushes are really, really nice. Oh, what's the book? So the book is called Flower Color Theory, and it's just got a range of beautiful bouquets. And it's not only like florals, they've also got fruit in there. Like there's some Sharon fruit in here and plants, and they have like really interesting compositions, really interesting color palettes as well. And as well as that, like on the side here, you can see they highlight like the main colors that are in the bouquet. So I figured that even if I didn't want to like necessarily, you know, draw from a particular bouquet, I could be like inspired by the color palettes and vice versa. So this one is on page 190. And let's see. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoy the video. And I'm just catching up. That's exactly why I removed and quit Facebook. Painting, a Nubian. Line work with India ink. Oh, I'm glad that you're here too. Okay, so I'm going to use the bigger brush and see. What I'm most drawn to at the moment is like all these really nice purples, and I have mineral violet right here, which I think will work quite nicely. We'll see. I already feel like I have little control with the dagger brush and to use what feels like a gigantic dagger brush on a small place, it's going to be interesting. So let's start with trying to see what draws my attention. I'm drawn by the purples, but I don't know. I don't really like, are they called dahlias? So I think in place of the dahlias, I may do roses. And I'm going to take some of that cherry quin red and mix it with the ultramarine violet. And you know what I feel like I need? A palette. That's what I need. I more often than not like leave my palettes messy, which is fine when I'm using the same color palettes, right? Because then it means like each color is like super interesting and it's not flat. But then when I'm trying to experiment with color palettes and use completely different color palettes, it becomes a little bit more challenging. So I think that's a good reason to whip out the palettes. And this one's one that I got from AliExpress. That's imitation ceramic, but I like it because it stacks. So it comes as a set of two. It stacks and it also comes with a lid. But more so, it's like got partitions. I think that's the thing that really drew me to it. Because I also have the Jackson's ones here that again I like, and normally I just have like one with purples, one with yellows, one with oranges, just to keep everything color coordinated. But that one has no partitions, which just makes it a little bit tricky sometimes. I think this even has like orchids. Which is going to be very interesting. So far, how do you guys feel about like 100% cotton watercolor papers? Like, I know there are some weights that I love, and I know that I love Saunders and Fabriano, but I wonder, would I be able to pick one over the other? I can, then again, I think I love Saunders and Fabriano more than BaoHong, but I can't quite explain why. Oh, yes, it does. It's so this palette is a lot smaller. It's bigger, sorry, than the Etcher palette. And the Etcher palette is actually ceramic. Yeah, it's essentially plastic. So when I bought it, it was listed as ceramic, and then when it arrived I was like, there's no way this is ceramic. And since then I've looked back on the listing and they've changed it to like imitation. But yeah, essentially it's plastic, but it like dense plastic basically. So far it hasn't stained, so I can't complain, although I haven't used it heavily, and maybe if I use it with phthalo blue it will change. Do you have a preference in terms of like different brands of 100% cotton watercolor paper, or is like it being 100% cotton almost like enough, if you see what I mean? Oh, Saunders is nice, yes. When you say finally try, mightier pencil, do you mean on your trip, or have you got some coming, or do you just mean in general? That also reminds me, like I found a sketchbook with Saunders paper for £12, and I was like, what? Like, I read, when you read absolutely every detail on it, because I was like, maybe they like have Saunders created cellulose paper, like why would this be so cheap? And I don't really know why. Part of me feels like maybe, I mean, it's an art shop, so they should know the value of the paper, but I'm not going to be like, hey, you should really be charging more for this. um I'm just contemplating how many how many of the sketchbooks I should buy. Yeah, I haven't. It feels like it has sizing on it. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I found Caddy very different to the rest of the 100% cotton watercolors, but I don't know if it's because it's like cotton rag, although that's meant to be like one of the really good ones. But it did feel like different. Not necessarily bad, but like for example, I used a few. I think, what was it? Was it the BaoHong that I used first? Like I used 100% cotton watercolor paper, and then since then, like you'll see, like it was just in practically almost every video that I created, because I just couldn't put it down. And I was like, okay, it's worth the cost given how much I enjoy using it. But with the Caddy, I think I used it once, twice, and then just wasn't drawn to it as much. Not that I didn't like it, but you know how you find yourself using certain things over and over and over again. It just wasn't one of the things that I was reaching for all the time, and I was reaching for cellulose paper more so than the caddy. Maybe I should give it like a second chance, and kind of see. But I would definitely say it's like it almost, yeah, it's in a different league compared to, like, you know, the Saunders, the Arches, the Fabriano. They are all, to me, quite different. Let me know if the camera starts shaking. My tripod is leaning on my table, and when I whoops and when I tried to move it, it was a no-go. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of like, I was kind of like, oh hey, and then the it's actually so funny because um I basically went to an art shop after finishing my night shifts, and I guess more so to like browse. I wasn't planning on buying anything, but you know, you get curious, like, are there any good deals? Is there anything kind of like going on? And then like I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to like get it, right? And um I've been there enough times to know that this is like new. And so even some of the shop owners, like the lady at the till, didn't know that they were there, and she was also like, oh, that's a bit, you know, confusing, like normally Saunders costs more. And I was like, yeah, yes it does. But then anyway, she started swatching the Rosa Gallery watercolors, and I just like what sat not even sat there. I just stood there, watched her swatch, and as she was swatching, we were just like discussing the different colors and the different pigments, and you know, it was just like really, really nice and relaxing, like a nice end to my night shift. And then bless them, because I think she was the manager, and then the assistant manager came, and then they were like, "Do you want a job?" like, like, would you work here? And I was like, I would love, love, love to work here, but really and truly, I don't think I can. Can you imagine trying to work like as a doctor and then create videos on YouTube and then also work at the local art store? Like, I think my shift pattern at work would just be a bit too crazy to allow for that to happen. But yeah, I was like, oh, otherwise I would like absolutely 100% love to work here. Or maybe less so. Well, I'd love to work at an art store in general, you know? It's so hard sometimes not to interject when I hear, like, you know, people asking questions about like, oh, which watercolor should I get and which paper should I get? And I'm like, oh. Sometimes I have to interject. Sometimes I have to be like, well, if you like this and this, if you like that, then this, and this is really great, but this hasn't, you know? So to actually get paid to do that would be amazing. Oh, Paul Rubens. See, this is the thing. That's I'm glad you. I haven't tried the one with the blue cover of Paul Rubens. What I have tried is the one with the black cover, not the. I mean, I've tried the cold pressed as well, but as in, they had a small set with a black cover, and then a bigger set that's almost got like a gray, like a ballerina at the front, like a yeah, it's got like a ballerina at the front, I think. And they're both 100%. No, the one is 50% cotton, the other one is 100% cotton. But oddly enough, I found that the 50% cotton was better than the 100% cotton. I didn't know if it was mislabeled or what exactly was going on. But also, I just found the paper a bit too rough for me. By the way, this is rough paper, but it doesn't feel like excessively rough. To me, it just feels like cold press. Mm. Oh, thank you so much for joining, Anita. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the comments, so if I miss something, just ask me again. I'm not ignoring you. It's just hard to paint and read at the same time. Yeah, no, Waterford is definitely better than Caddy, in my opinion, for what I like to use. I feel so PC, but I feel like, I wouldn't want someone to watch this and be like, oh my gosh, this is, you know, the paper is bad or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying for what I like to use it for. The others are definitely better. I like the Etcher one as well. The Etcher paper. Don't really know if it's another paper that they've renamed, but I like it. No qualms with it thus far. It has less texture, I find, than other 100% cotton watercolor papers that are cold pressed. But other than that, I have no qualms. And I wouldn't necessarily say that that's a bad thing either. I think that if you like doing a lot of ink work as well, then you'll kind of like that paper because it feels like between hot press and cold press. Ah, thank you, Laura. Mm. And also, yeah, I don't think I'm trying to think. Paolo, with the caddy paper, was it because they have a log book and a fat book? And I think the log book has thinner paper, which does bleed through. And then they have like a fat book, I think, that doesn't, because my one wasn't bleeding through. It was just, I kind of felt like the colors weren't as vibrant. And I guess by the nature of it being handmade, it had more imperfections. Um, and I just liked the texture of other papers more. But if it feels like completely like the sizing is gone, then it might be that it's either the logbook, I think it's called. I'll have to double check. Or that the sizing has actually gone and it's a bad batch. Evil. Oh, you, gosh. I can't even. I hated that sketchbook. I really, really did. And no disrespect to anyone who likes it. No disrespect to our teaser. Like if you want to sponsor me on anything apart from those sketchbooks, I'm down for it. But I really did not like the sketchbooks. Yeah, I don't know. And the thing is, I bought it quite early on in my watercolor career, in my watercolor journey, because everyone on YouTube was saying how amazing this, sketchbook was and how you get so many for so little and all these fantastic things. And then I got it and it was driving me like I did not like it. And just to, add I guess, perspective to my opinion to say the things that I didn't like. And if these things don't bother you, then it may not be an issue. But the papers had different textures, fine. And I feel like more times than not, the different textures, with cold press, you can get that, but it's not like that significant. Whereas in the sketchbook, it was like crazy significant. It was like you'd go from cold press to like hot press to like one side cold press, one side hot press. Like I just really did not enjoy that. And then I didn't like the paper anyway, like whether it was the cold press side or the hot press side, I didn't like it. And then it was almost like repelling the watercolors in parts of it. So I think I did. It's funny because I was going to do a challenge. I think like I was painting for a certain number of hours, and then I just hated the sketchbook so much I could not continue. So I think I did like 3 pages in it, and then I was like, no, I can't do this, and went to bed kind of thing. I was like, it's not happening. That is a very good point. I do not sleep. No, you know what? I feel like if my family saw this, they'd be like, this is just not true. I love sleep. Like sleep is my hobby. I enjoy it. Really and truly, if I'm like really, really bored, I'll just go to sleep. Like, my dreams are like very entertaining. So have no problem at all with just calling it a day and going to bed. Um when time allows. But, you know, I also like love doing live streams and chatting with you guys and painting. And sometimes, in order to strike that balance, I have to sleep a little bit less. And I'm okay with that. Yeah, it might be the logbook. I've seen someone use Paolo. I've seen someone use that. I can't remember her name. It's like a relatively new. Have you noticed, or maybe it's just me, that there's quite a few new YouTubers, like art YouTubers. Like I'm loving what they're doing, but there's one. Oh, this is so bad. I can't remember her name, but she creates videos like almost every day. Um, and she did a review. It wasn't a review, but she was using it, and it was doing that, like almost bleeding through the paper. I'll need to remember her name. Maybe when I'm drying something, I will like quickly go on YouTube and check. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of new faces, which is nice. And then I also asked you guys, you know, you to let me know any of your favorite artists on YouTube. Just because it just had me thinking, like, wow, there are so many people, and some people aren't even like new; they're just new to me. And I just wanted to know favorites. And if you haven't seen it in the community tab, I recommend that you check it out because there are so many new names. Of like amazing artists. And Jenna Rainey also did a video highlighting different artists. Again, really lovely video. I knew some of the artists on her list, but quite a few I didn't know. So that was nice as well. And then it was nice because I think in the past she did a video that was called something like, you know, highlighting. No, it wasn't called highlighting small YouTubers, but it was essentially like she'd made a video talking about the best YouTubers that had big channels and then did one for small channels. But it was like everyone on the list, or at least it felt like everyone on the list had like 100K. It was something like, you know, the big channels have millions or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and the small channels have like 100,000 subscribers. But this one was actually like, you know, in terms of highlighting the smaller creators, it was like 10,000 or less. So yeah, it felt, it was a little bit it was nice to see, you know. Yeah, no, I definitely do that every time. And they're like, oh yeah, sure, waiting the day, like, yeah, maybe I should just take the job. Mm, this sounds amazing. Oh, that is really weird. Now, I must say that this art store has like quite a chill vibe. I don't like the company as a whole, but the store is quite nice. The people in the store anyway are quite nice. Uh, Melissa, I honestly think that this is what would happen to me. Everything would probably just go towards right back into the store. Like, don't even bother giving me a salary, just pay me in art supplies, basically. And I'd probably be like happy about it. I bought this might be a good time to ask actually. I bought the whiskey painter after like years of admiring it and umming and ahhing and waiting for it to go on sale, and I got it for 10% off. But it's arrived and I am not 100% sure about it, which was like really disappointing. And I don't know if it's almost like one of those things, you know, when you've built up something so much in your head that it can't actually live up to your expectation. I don't know if with time I'll end up loving it. I don't know if I should just bite the bullet, use it outdoors, and then see. But then obviously, if I do that, I can't return it. So I haven't unwrapped, like I haven't used it yet, because I'm not sure if I should return it. And it would be like the first art supply that I have ever returned, and it just so happens to be one that I waited years for. Do you know which palette I'm talking about? The like whiskey painter one? Cheers, babe. I'm gonna catch up on the comments. If I've missed anything, let me know. So the Aussie crafter is awesome. I love her. She's so sweet, and she and if you haven't checked out her video, then her videos, then do. Her videos are like very, very highly like high quality, like very well produced. Even though she has like a relatively small channel, small being relative, like I mean she has maybe like we're probably like the same size, but if you were to look at her videos, it looks very well made. Very, very well made. And as the name may indicate, she does like craft stuff. So there's a bit of watercolor stuff, but primarily craft. But anyway, I like her. She's awesome. And she made a video, and in the video she gave me a shout out, and I was like, this is so cute. I love when artists support artists. Does that make sense? Like I feel like sometimes social media promotes this unhealthy comparison, which makes people compete. And I just love when people rise above that and like just don't engage in that kind of thing and just try and support other channels, because there's more than enough space for all of us, you know. And I think that's why I love doing collaborations, and why I love doing live streams with other artists and all this and all that, because ultimately I really enjoy creating with artists, and I think the more the merrier. So anyway, I really appreciated her shout out. I didn't see it coming, and it was for one of my order videos as well. It was the video that I did on how I create swatches, and then she created swatches in her video, and they were really, really nice. I haven't watched Karen Rice in a while. I do like Doodle Date has been mentioned so many times. I do have to check them out. I feel like I've watched one or two videos maybe years ago, but I need to check. Oh, is that how you came over? That's awesome. Yeah, so she generally at the end of that video basically said like, oh, if you also have a YouTube channel, then you know, let me know down below in the comments and stuff. And you know, they kind of say like, you know, not plug yourself, like back yourself. The first time, like the number of times I've been told that, but the first time that someone said that to me, I didn't understand what that meant. So I actually took a step back, because I thought they were telling me to like step back, whereas actually they're saying like have confidence in yourself. So anyway, when she was like, oh, you know, if you have a channel and you know you think, you know, just let people know down below in the comments, I was like, okay, I'll I'll let people know. So thank you so much for coming over from there, and I hope that you are enjoying what you are part of. And I also saw Melissa, you mentioned me there, and someone else mentioned me. I need to double check. But anyway, I because I read through the comments to see, you know, other artists had either mentioned themselves or been mentioned, and I appreciated all the sweet comments that I saw that, you know, were like, oh, check out Sketches.n.Scrubs. It's really sweet. Oh, hey, Crixis. Welcome. I was mentioning you earlier. Oh, my trip was amazing. I haven't said too much about it because I want to do like, you know, I did record a few videos. I just need to sort out my laptop. To be fair, I have a laptop update in terms of the fact that my laptop has now switched on. Hey! So I sent it off for repair, and they repaired it so that now it turns on, but it's got some issues. Like, it turns on, but the battery keeps dying and the Bluetooth stopped working, and there's just like a whole bunch of different issues. I don't know what happened. And Apple were like, aha, that's not normal. So I'm gonna have to take it. They want it back basically. So that they can actually fix it, and then I'll be able to use it, and then I'll be able to edit the videos, and I'll be able to tell you and show you all about my trip. And I'm looking forward to that. Let's add a bit more pink. But how are you, Crixus? Again, another awesome art YouTuber. If they will allow me to do that, I'd actually be down for it. Just be like, you know what, can I come on an ad hoc basis where when I'm not working, I just come and I work, and you know, I share. Like, it just must be so fun, you know, like imagine just sitting down, and part of, you know, today's job or your job for today is to like swatch out new watercolors and, you know, be watched by random intrigued artists who are like, oh yeah, oh that's a phalo, oh that's a this. So it's like, oh, how do you know that? And I was like, oh, because it's PG7. How do you know that? Oh, it's PB15. No, it was really fun. Yeah, the schmincke one. Oh, sorry, I got distracted, didn't I? Thank you, gods and heroes, for bringing back bringing me back on track. So I got the schmincke. Oh, it's here. This one. I don't want to get paint on it because then that will make this whole discussion moot. But it's basically the schmincke whiskey painter, which refuses to come out of the box that way and only comes out of the box this way. And I just thought, like, before I got this, I just thought this was so cute. It's, you know, opens up here. Ta-da! And then this lid goes on at the end here. It has a water reservoir here, a water bottle, and I haven't put water in it because I'm still unsure about it, but I saw it on Lindsay the Frugal Crafters channel, and on there she filled it up and then poured it out, and basically the volume of the bottle is enough to fill this up once, like all the way to the brim. So maybe if you just do it halfway, you fill it up twice. Basically, it comes with 8 colors. Sorry, this is probably not what you guys came here for, but it comes with 8 colors: lemon yellow, cadmium red light. I can't see the pigment information, so I don't know if these names are actually accurate or if they just named them what they want. Permanent carmine, ultramarine finest, Prussian blue, and their finest one basically doesn't granulate as much. Prussian blue, permanent green olive, yellow ochre, sepia brown. I'm not 100% like blown away by the color selection. I almost feel like Roman Schmull have spoilt me in that I'm like, oh, the colors that I get there are so wonderful. So now every time I keep getting like traditional colors, I'm a bit like underwhelmed. But it's not bad. Like, you know, it's an okay color selection. And then they've also got space in the middle. In theory, a tiny brush could fit in there that I probably wouldn't use because it'd be too small for my hand, or another set of 4. So you could fit 12 in here. But the thing that like pushed me over the edge, I think the reason that I'm not like, oh my gosh, I'm in love, because I think the design is cute and everything, is to do with this mixing space. Issue number 1, it doesn't have like this area here doesn't actually come up that high. So I feel like if I have a big wash here, it will just spill over to everything. So this to me is almost like one big mixing space. And then 2, I don't like that it slants like this, which may seem like a small thing, but I feel like that means that if I'm painting on the go, which is what this is designed for, and I just let this fall, everything is just going to pull here, right? Like, it's not even going to stay in this shallow well that we have. I'm just going to scroll down. If I've missed anything that you have said, please let me know. Let me catch up really quickly. Is it just the palette? So I'll highlight, yeah, so that's what we're talking about here. Oh, thank you, Laura. I'm glad you enjoyed the brush video. Sorry, I'm catching up on the comments and then we'll get back to the whiskey painter. I just want to make sure that I, don't miss anything. Yeah, I hope it fixes itself. I think the magically is the money. Basically, I think that's the magic component. And I've paid a fortune, which is why I feel like Apple are even listening to me. But I'm like, how can I pay all this and then you give my laptop back and it's broken? Like it's worse than it. Like okay, it turns on, but it's a lot worse than before. Um. Oh, thank you so much, Paolo. And let me. Oh, thank you, Laura. Sorry, I didn't realize I was so behind on the chat. Okay, yeah, so I'm all caught up, yeah? Mm, yeah, see, that's the thing. To be fair, I was like, if the palette is nice enough, I will buy it, even if I don't like the colors. That was the reason that I got the Winsor and Newton field case, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, this is basically this is where the issue has come from me. And this is basically the fact that this just slants so much. The water's all going to pour here, or I have to hold it like this, which is not a big deal, I admit. But then, you get a palette like this for an eighth the price and you don't have to do that, ignore the mess. You don't have to do that, and you have two big wells, and then you have these. So then it's kind of like, why am I paying so much? Fair enough, this one doesn't come with the water reservoir, but I'll show you that. So that's basically what has had me second guessing the palette. The alternative, or like the other palette that I was kind of talking about. Thank you, Crixus. I think you are meant to hold it up. Yeah, see, that's the thing, but I don't want to. You're right. You're right, but then it's just not designed for that to be done comfortably, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe you just hold it I guess if I hold it with my fingers, then it's fine. If I literally hold it like that or leave it on a table, then it's not fine. So I can't use, it will just slant. So this is the other one that I have, and I created a video about how to pick travel palettes, and in them I kind of spoke about this palette and the array of different travel palettes that I have. And to be fair, I thought that this was quite small, but when I compared it to the the schmincke whiskey palette, the schmincke one's a lot smaller. So I was like, okay, maybe that's an argument to keep it. But this is a plastic, a plastic palette. Again, the lid doubles as a cup. It has a separate water flask, which also doubles as a mixing space. And these hold themselves up. So obviously this is I think, is it it's metal, but as in, is it magnetic? I don't even know. I think it's enameled. It's finished very nicely. It's heavier. It looks nice. It's definitely a luxury item. Hold on. Yeah, it is magnetic. Yeah. Uh-oh. It's magnetic. Or magnet friendly, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's another good point. You see, I'm so glad that we're having this dialogue, because I was a bit confused. But essentially, to get this kind of palette empty on schmincke, no, on Etsy, is like £100. And then on Jackson's, it's £88 to get it with the schmincke watercolors. And then I had the 10% discount, so it came to just under £80 with the schmincke paints. Whereas, because I looked for empty ones initially, I thought, wow, you know what, I'm not if I'm not getting it for the paints, let me just find an empty one, thinking that maybe it would be like £50 or even less. But no, can't find it. But yeah, that's basically what I've been thinking about. I mean, we might as well do a review based on me not having used it, just on having received it, looked at it, pondered. The only other con that I think Lindsay the Frugal Crafter and a few people mentioned when I posted this on my story on Instagram, asking if I should keep it or let go of it, was that this top like comes off quite easily. So they were saying like, if you put it in your bag, if you put it in a pocket or whatever, it's going to just like slip off all the time. Fine. But yeah, that's basically been my conundrum. And when I did the poll on Instagram, like I think quite a few people voted, over 100, and it came up to like 50-50. I was like, wow. At least I know I'm not the only one who's there we go. I'm not the only one who's like stuck on whether it's worth keeping or not. What would make this a lot easier is if Schmincke would just give it to me for free, just putting it out there. Then this internal like discourse and battle that I'm having as to whether I should keep it or not could finally end. Yeah, I don't know. Can't do. I actually can't do. You see, but why? Here's my thing, right? If we're paying so much for a palette, why am I doing all these modifications? I don't know. When on holiday, the palette that I ended up using the most was these kind of metal palettes that I have here, the ones with this is my Roman Schmoll one, but any kind of empty metal palette was the one that I was just like going to, because it's easy, it's low pressure, it's low headache. I think I also used the Portable Painter Classic quite a bit. Perhaps not as much, just because I wanted to use my Roman Schmoll paints more than my Daniel Smith paints. See, I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think I was drawn. I like the look of it. Why is this still here? Sorry. I was looking at the camera. I was like, wait, what is that on the thing? I like the look of it, and I like that it feels like novel. I like the fact that it looks like like a whiskey thing. So I wanted the reservoir. Small thing, but I just don't like the way that they designed the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should return it. I've been and ahhing. The other thing that I was contemplating returning is the A Gallo swatch card. I just can't. I bought it, but I just can't justify the cost. I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? This, I think I should add the disclaimer that all this was kind of like before the drama with my laptop. So now that so I feel like that reframed my thinking, in that like actually I should just I should just direct my funds, any and all funds, towards there. I know, I would love to. I would love to design my own palettes, my own sketchbooks. Like, it's genuinely a dream of mine. And as for the designing bit, I feel like I'd be okay with. Like I know the things that I like and I know the things that I don't like. The issue the issue is just finding someone to make it. Like I don't know how to do that side of things, you know? Um I was like looking up a while back, to be fair. I keep getting, you know, you get like excited and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then you spend, in my case, months looking and give up. But but yeah, I was looking online and trying to figure out how could I do this and how could I make it. And there wasn't that much on it apart from like, you know, if I want to try buying a 3D printer or etc. etc. And I feel like it would be too much. So I don't know, maybe one day. That's a good point, Brianna. Whoa. Yeah, I would need to. That's crazy. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The Mighty Pencil. Not only that, there's a subscriber who is absolutely awesome, super generous, has gifted me handmade sketchbooks. We've literally spent hours talking about like art supplies, met up for coffee, just had a really good time. And every time that I see her, I feel so inspired to just bite the bullet and create my own watercolor sketchbooks. In fact, I bought the paper, I bought the materials. I just need to set aside the time. And I think in the summer, like that arbitrary time. Yeah, but I feel like in the summer, I will be able to do that a bit more. I'll just have more spare time, basically. Hopefully. God willing. So what are we thinking? I like it. I tend to like most of my art. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a lot for me to not like it. There are some bits that perhaps I'm not 100% crazy about, and that's just mixing the mineral. Is it mineral violet? Yeah, mixing the mineral violet with reds. Every time I try to do that, so that I can get like a warmer leaning purple, because of the granulation, it just looks a bit funny, not in a good way, you know. So that's probably the one thing that I'm like about this flower. But I think from far, and it's actually not bad. Like nearby, like looking at it close as well, it's not that it's bad. It's just that I can see the granulation, and it wasn't an intended effect. Uh, Thank you, Melissa. You're so sweet. No, you're very kind. Honestly, I appreciate it. I just feel like yeah, and as for the paper, it's held up. So it's technically called rough. I can't believe I've got watercolor paper paint on my thing. It's technically called rough, and it has got like texture, but I don't feel like I don't feel like it's crazy rough. Um, do I have something to compare it to? No. But yeah, I like it. It does have like it has a bit of a pattern, but not an overwhelming one. Like, you know, I don't normally like where it looks all uniform and you can see the grid, because I feel like I end up getting distracted by the grid. Whereas I feel like from far I can't really see it and it didn't disturb anything too tough. So yeah, it's okay. I'll keep painting with it and I'll let you know if any quirks come up. But so far, it seems fine. I don't know the price or anything like that. I do not believe it is available in the UK yet, but she was saying that soon it will be available in the UK, and then after that, probably in the US. And well, I think actually what she was saying is that it's going to be available in Europe and then in the UK, and then, like, you know, EU and then the UK and then the US. So there we are. And oh, let me sign it. Where's my pen? I was trying to multitask today. It was a hell of a day. I had like lectures in the day, and then I had an event, and then I really just wanted to paint, and it's been a bit of everything. And also, I should say, why not? Because I went to this event and I felt so inspired, and it was kind of like talking about business, and it was like young professionals and talking about how to be entrepreneurs, and the basis of it was networking, not necessarily like business, if that makes sense. It was just a way to network. But as a result, I just felt so inspired. But anyway, one of the things that I was talking about on there was like my Ko-fi, and they were like, you just need to tell people about it, like just promote it. So this is me saying, if you want, join my Ko-fi. And one of the guys there was like, but do you tell people to join? And I was like, yeah, I mention it, but I don't want to do a hard sell. And he was like, just, I feel like men are different. So he was just like, yeah, just ask, like, that's fine. Where I was like, no, if they want to, they will, and no pressure, and this and this. And that all stands, obviously, no pressure. But I would be excited if you were to all join, and I appreciate all the members that I have there already, including the ones that are currently in the chat. I see you and I appreciate you. I never know if you want me to say if you're a member, so always like, don't say. Does that make sense? Should I add ink? That's why I'm holding this pen. Tale as old as time. Maybe I'll leave it as it is. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know why it's so vintage. Oh, it's the background. You guys are right. I was like, why? I get that feeling as well. Yeah, rough is actually quite nice. But this is my thing. Is it actually rough, or is it a little bit rougher than this? So this is my BaoHong Academy. No, it is rougher than... Can you see it? So it's... I don't know. I feel like I haven't painted with rough enough to say, but I always kind of thought that rough would have, by the nature of it, like a rougher surface, whereas this is perhaps just a bit more spread out. But can you see the difference? I hope you can. Can you imagine people who are non-artists watching this? They'll be like, what? Why are they looking so intently at two pieces of paper that look the same? But for me, I can, and hopefully for you, with the light, you can see that the grain on this paper is just a lot more stretched out. There we go. And what should we paint next? Sorry for if my phone starts to vibrate, it's because I'm getting messages. But as well as that, how did I get onto this? Oh yeah, because I was saying that I've been creating a lot for the Ko-fi challenge. So let me show you. Oh, what did you say? Love with Archer's cold press, yeah. But can you see it? Okay, we're back. Sorry, I was getting a call. There must be, I don't know why. You'd think that my phone would be like, oh, she's live, don't let calls come through. But yeah, so these are some of the things that I've been doing. These were during the Ko-fi live stream. This was with gouache and Neocolor tools, again on the Ko-fi live stream, and again Ko-fi live stream. And then I did a landscape, then I did this. Can you guess what the challenge is? Or the theme is, rather? Then I did this, sneak peek. I really like this. This is all watercolor, and the sketchbook that I'm using is the Art Creation sketchbook. I don't like it, like love it for wet media. So not for watercolor, not for gouache. It will handle, it will be okay. I kind of don't mind that it crinkles. It makes it feel like a bit more like a sketchbook. But you know, I quite often like paint things as if they're almost like finished pieces. Oh, bye, Mrs. Z. It's hard to do that on here, but it's made it less pressure. Like I've put less pressure on myself, which has meant that I've created more. So I can't like 100% complain. I just wouldn't. What I need is a sketchbook in this price point with good quality watercolor paper, basically. But yeah, no, I really like this painting. Again, all watercolor, hence why it's like crinkling like crazy. And then this one, I had such a good time painting this. So there's an artist called Sophia. I think I need to link her name. Sophia Pavan Masias, I think is how you say her name. And she has a YouTube channel, she has an Instagram, but she created reference photos and put them up on her Instagram and said, like, you know, everybody feel free to use it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like it just looked so fun. Like they looked like paintings, but they were pictures. So I painted one or painted based on one. So I think I added this lemon because it was 4. And I was like, I feel like I need 5 to make this composition make sense. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun creating something with like big block colors and trying to get the shadows and just trying to convey a lot with a little. Only 4 colors, minimal brush strokes for me. But that was a lot of fun. And then that's done. So look, I feel like I'm making headways, definitely getting through it a lot quicker than other sketchbooks. So I'm going to continue. This was for another Ko-fi challenge. Was it? Yeah, no, I recorded it, but I haven't released it. But this was for a Ko-fi challenge, and in there, just kind of talk through my process of creating this and have the real-time video of me creating this and a sped-up video of me drawing this. And then this is like a mini sketchbook tour. I'm sure I did another one. Maybe it's in another book. And then, you know, for the swatch cards that I did, that was again in here. So I doodled everything out. Basically, I think everyone should have a low pressure sketchbook. And hopefully, you know, I guess the argument is that all sketchbooks should be low pressure. But if you're like me and you like to have beautiful pieces in your sketchbook, also get yourself a low pressure sketchbook. I kind of like the crinkly paper as well. It makes me feel like I've worked in it, like, you know, like I'm making progress. I haven't used their masters one. I'd be interested to see the comparison. And for that reason, I actually bought their professional one from AliExpress. I just haven't used it yet because I feel like I have so much paper I need to use. I think, thank you, Dark Roast. I keep painting lemons, and I think it's honestly just a reminder of myself to, like, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Because I think I've painted so many lemons this past month to like ignore the drilling and everything else that was going on. I was just like, okay, I'll just keep painting lemons. Enjoy dinner, Mrs. Z. You need to do a YouTube short with with out of context live stream moments like the paper comparison and heat gun with a sound. See, these are jokes that only we will get. Let me see what else I have missed. Oh, thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. I've loved what you've been doing, the Mightier Pencil, with the grey toned markers, because it almost feels like when I look at them, I always feel like they're graphite initially. And then if I pay closer attention, I realize, like, no, there's marker there as well. What are you creating with these fine liners? I'm trying. I think I'm going through it faster than usual because, one, I'm not editing. and 2, I am not like recording. Like in theory, I could still be recording, but I already feel like I have so much that I want to create. I don't want to get like overwhelmed with it. Should we do another painting? Sorry, I keep getting distracted and like chatting with you guys. Do you want to say a random number from 1 to, hold on, let's see, from 1 to 367? And then we'll see. Yeah, no, the drilling is still going on, and it gets me because like it means that when I do night shifts, I sleep very poorly for the entire 2 weeks, or the majority of the 2 weeks. Let me stop being dramatic, but you know, it's annoying. It makes it unpleasant to be home, basically. Who knew? Oh, actually, not from 1. Sorry, from, shall we say 20? Yeah, from 20 to. This book is the Flower Color Theory, so it has like, look at that. It has hundreds of bouquets, and as well as that, it also has the dominant or the predominant colors that are in the bouquet listed on the side. So you can either be inspired by the color palette or by the bouquet, by the composition, by the flowers that you see, and they're quite like out there like a lot of the time. Oh, did I see 75? Hey, Franny. Oh, this is 75. Look at that. So this is a number of bouquets. Let's do this. Dark rose, 69. So we could do 69 next. It does look, so I've got quite a few books recently that focused on color, and this one was one of them. Especially, why can I see purple underneath? Can I see something else? Especially because it has florals. I'm excited about this. I wonder if I should do a background or not. I kind of like doing a background, although it always makes my life a little bit harder. What's life without a little bit of challenge? I'm going to do a same super light Quinn Gold-esque kind of background. Oh. I know these flowers are stunning. Thank you for picking, Franny. Whoops. I'm just so as to save time, just spraying all my water on my page. I have Beauty and the Beast in my head, and I can't remember why I was saying Tale as Old as Time, but but if I end up singing the rest of it or humming it to myself, that's why. Just remind me if I start doing it by accident. Yeah, so the purpose of getting it was just so that I would play around with different compositions, because I feel like a lot of their compositions are very different, including like, and also play around with color palettes. The other one that I got is specifically on color palettes, less so on florals. And that one is also good. Yeah, it is a nice earworm indeed. It's very relaxing. So I'm just adding light color to the edges. And to do this like nice peachy color, I'm basically mixing the quinacridone gold hue with the cherry quin red. And it will usually give you a really nice, beautiful, subtle peach. that sometimes looks a bit orangey, but just make it lighter and then you head towards peach. And then add a little bit more red. Hope you can see this okay. And just adding, whoops, a lot more pink. But that's fine. It will always dry lighter. Beauty of watercolor. Okay. No, I have the, well, I don't know if it's called Master's Choice, but I have the professional version. Is that different to Master's Choice? Another moment of silent drying. Okay, my bad. Must have just been me because it was looking like the screen was going black. But glad you can see me. Okay, so we have these beautiful roses. Trying to figure out what I might use. I might use my Princeton Aqua Elite. I want a smaller brush basically. And here it is. This is the Princeton Aqua Elite size 8 round brush. Basically, I need to find, where was I? I think I went urban sketching and I took all my like go-to supplies. So I took my black velvet, my dagger brush. They must all be in whichever handbag I decided to take with me at the time. Hey, creative phenomenon art. Welcome to the fun. Oh, hey, Cami. Safe journey, Mercies. Are you coming, or as in like, are you going on holiday or are you coming back home? Or are you working at the airport? Going to start with that beautiful rose in the middle. And just add more color to the edges. Ah, well, safe journey, Mercies. I hope you had a wonderful time in France. I am using the Roman Schmall watercolors. They're always like my go-to. They're my comfort paint. What are your comfort paints or your comfort, supplies that you go to? The supplies that you enjoy, that bring you no stress, that you know how they work. This is going to be the interesting thing, trying to convey all these super light pinks. I wonder where the contrast is going to come from, but time will tell. Gosh, isn't creating art good for the soul? Like, at the moment, White Night and Rembrandt watercolors. I have not tried either of them, but I'll keep them on mind. Yeah, no, I am. I'm so addicted to Rembrandt Schmall. I don't even know why. Like, yeah, I can't explain. I can't explain it. But I am. Someone joked that I should be their brand ambassador. I'm like, you know what? If they actually had it, I might as well be, because that's basically what I'm doing. But what do like? I don't even know how ambassadorships work technically, fully. I don't know. Another thing to think about. Oh, Sheenhan PWC comfort paints. Yeah, I'm right to be addicted. Thank you. The Winsor & Newton watercolors. Oh, see, the Winsor & Newton gouache, I love. And I think it'd been a while since I'd created with them. And then yesterday when I was painting those lemons, I was like, yeah, no, this is where it's at. This is why I love gouache. This is why no matter, gouache and I may have our falling out. I may like leave for a while, but I always go back. I don't want to have it any other way. I'm addicted and I just can't get enough. Oh, the Paul Rubin paints. Renee, hey Renee, Da Vinci. I would expect nothing less. And again, with good reason. Let's play around with shape, shall we? Because they have these like... Are they... I don't know what they're called, to be fair. And let's add some more. It's just interesting trying to mix all these different, pinks. With this one set of pinks. Kind of want to... let me see what I may do. Is let's see if what happens if we add a little bit of buff titanium to a pink. If I could pick up just buff titanium, that would be great. And let's take that cherry quin red a little bit more. Let's see, is this different? Yeah, it's more muted. I don't know if where can I see any? I think I prefer it without, I do. Daniel Smith is my second favorite at the moment. That being said, I just feel like it's tricky. So I was, a few was it months ago that I think I asked you guys? I was contemplating doing the like use it up challenge, like Maggie on Creating Cute Art did with her Regina's watercolors, just picking one art supply and just dedicating time to using only that supply. So I was contemplating doing that because it almost feels like, if you jump from one supply to the other supply to the other supply, you don't always give them, I think, the best shot or the fairest, you don't do the fairest of assessments, because as soon as you get used to something, you jump to something else. And that's not to say that it's a bad thing, but I was just kind of thinking like, oh, I may benefit from actually just, this is a lot darker than I thought, from actually just using one set for a while. I don't know. I'm basically, and I think about it, and then at the other time, I'm like, oh no, but I have so many watercolors, it'd be a shame to not use them. So on one hand, it'd be a shame to not use them, and on the other hand, I have so many that that I just keep bouncing back and forth. Oh, see, that's the thing. I'd heard mixed things about My Mary Blue. I'd seen it on Jenna. I don't know why I struggle with her surname, but I'd seen it on Jenna's channel, and when she was talking about it, she was basically saying that they are great, and she was switching from using all Winsor & Newton. This is way brighter than I thought. So she was switching from using like all Winsor & Newton, which I believe it was Winsor & Newton, which she had been using for ages, to My Mary Blue. And then the comments was like, they were going crazy, like, they're not better, blah, blah. But they are, I would be curious to try them, because then some people like know that like really bright and stunning, like Colleen. See, I think that's a good idea. That's maybe what I should like do, just one palette for 1 month and use it. Or maybe I'll do like one palette for 50 paintings or something, and really get a good idea, because I don't want it to be that I say for 1 month and then I do 2 paintings and then I move on. But like set a certain number of, like a reasonable number of paintings that I would like to have done at least before I move on to another palette. That might actually be a really good way to do it. Let's do this super light. It's so interesting painting from photos, from life, from anything, from reference, basically. Which I found even when I was doing the drawings so that I could create the Ko-fi swatch cards. Because I don't know, maybe I'm looking at this too much, because I feel like I'm not trying to replicate it. I'm trying to be inspired by it. But then it's hard to look at something and not, start replicating. And as it stands, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how this is gonna go. It's almost like, I guess that's one of the benefits of pre-recorded videos, right? Like, it's going to, it's going to go well, hence why you edited it and whatever, and made a video out of it. With live streams, this could end up being a total mess. Indeed it could. But I guess ultimately, if you don't experiment, you don't learn. Thank you, Anita. No, I've heard that Roman Schmall may release paint tubes. I think I don't think it's a rumor because I think Roman Schmall himself said it in the Jacksons interview. He didn't say when, but I do think that they will come soon. Sorry, I missed that, Gods and Heroes. Ah, their entire line is single pigment. No, that makes sense. Oops, sorry for the shaking. Just sorting out some computer. Sorry, just getting something and hopefully I haven't disappeared. I'll be back to it. So this, oh, what have I missed? 5 tubes. Green, gold, ultramarine. Oh, and Payne's grey. You've picked a really good selection of colors. Colleen. Alexa, this book is the Flower Color Theory.
The Blossom, the poem, was written by John Donne.
Alexa, stop. My bad. Sorry about that. So turns out I forget that she's always listening, you know? And that, like, I didn't know why, like, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. So I was like, why is she talking? Only on live streams. So this is the link that I'm sending for you. And I mean, I would whisper your name, but still, she's always listening. Like, I've tried it before. Sorry, that freaked me out as well. I was literally like, what is happening? Why is she talking? Yeah. So I'll link it down below in the description as well. I kind of thought about using this last minute, which is why it's not in the description already. But there is the link. It is an affiliate link. So if you do buy something from Amazon, I may get a small commission. Even if it's not the book, it will never cost more, but I may get a small commission. Thus far, that works out as roughly, it depends on the account. One account is like 18 pence for 3 months. As in like 18 pence across 3 months, not every 3. Does that make sense? Not every month. So basically like 6 pence a month, or sometimes it's a bit more. So Amy, what did I miss? Oh yeah, the Master's Choice. The covers are different. I don't know if they're. I do have, to be fair, I have the pro version. I'll try it and then see. And if I come, whoops, that's a lot of water. If I come across the different ones with the actual artist, I will try them as well. And then see if there's a like clear, tangible difference. So I almost feel like I should stop looking at the flowers because I'm almost like, what are these colors that I am creating? I don't even know anymore, you know? So maybe if I focus more on the colors and less on the flowers, or like elements that I can see. Oh, that's a lot of fun. Sometimes I do that when I am urban sketching. I'll just go in with color, super loose naturally, because what else can you do? And then I go back with ink. I think this will be an ink piece for real, for sure. For sure. The other thing that I'm clearly not doing now, but I have been thinking about doing, is intuitive painting. Have you guys heard of this? Have you seen it? Are we liking it? Are we disliking it? What are the feels on the whole intuitive painting situation? Why you're not distracting me, Amy? I think this is what I love about live streams. You know, it feels like you're painting with friends and like chatting and things. And I may have probably learned something new. Never heard of it. Okay. Anyone else? I never heard of intuitive painting. Never heard of it. Oh, okay, cool. So maybe it's I don't I don't know, what is Google sensing that I don't know why Google started not Google, but you know, like YouTube started recommending this for me. Heard of Angela Fair? Haven't heard of her. And very, very, very rudimentarily, like completely new to it. Haven't really tried it. I'm far from an expert of it, but having binge watched a few videos, and there's not that many videos to be fair. There is so I think I'd first heard of the phrase from, why am I so bad with names? Like, what is going on? I can see her face in my head, but I can't remember her name. Her surname, is it Linda Marcel on YouTube? Sorry, I'm looking for my charger. Yeah, I believe it's Linda Marcel. I'll see, because she always comes up on my homepage. Where are you? So I think I'd first heard the term from her, and I thought that it was just something that she had like made up in terms of the phrase. But my understanding of it is that it's essentially like creating abstract art in a low pressure way, no rules kind of go, but it's like very abstract, you know, it's like literally playing around with your art supplies in what you would say is an intuitive way. So you're not necessarily looking at something, you're not trying to recreate something, you're just literally playing on the page, seeing what happens, seeing what kind of things you like, what kind of things you don't like, and I guess being led by instinct rather than by reference or anything else that you're seeing. So I haven't tried it yet, but it's something that I do want to try. Yeah, it's Linda Marcel who I was thinking of. It is something that I want to try. Yes, beginner's mind, ArtMind. Yeah. See, I haven't heard of spontaneous painting, but it's but it might be like a similar thing or a similar premise. Yes. So she'd always kind of say like, oh, I've created this intuitive painting. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, in terms of like, I was intrigued by it. I really do enjoy her videos. And yeah, I don't know. It's basically, I kind of thought like, oh, maybe I will try that. And I remember once I kind of felt like I was not like tightening up in my art, because I wouldn't say necessarily that I was like over tight or anything like that, or that there's something like it's not like my work was hyper realistic all of a sudden or anything like that. But I just kind of felt like, you know what, I was putting too much pressure on myself to create things that were really nice all the time. And I kind of feel like intuitive painting isn't necessarily about the end result. It's about experimenting, enjoying the moment, and perhaps learning things in that moment that you then carry on to creating art later if you want. And I've seen different people do it in different ways. For some, it's like very personal, you know, like they might have writing inside it. You can have anything inside it basically. But I believe it's meant to, like, you know, address the mindset. It's almost sounded like mindfulness while painting, and being led by, I want to add a splash here, I want to add a splash there, I like this, I don't like that, kind of thing. So anyway, I'll look into it a bit more, but it was something that I thought might be fun to do at some point. And as I say, I am far from like an expert on it, obviously, as you can probably tell from my description of it, but it looked interesting and it looked low pressure, and it looked like it's the kind of thing that's good, you know, good and low pressure to do. So what I was mentioning earlier is that because I kind of felt like I was putting all this pressure on myself to like create artwork that was perfect, or at least to create artwork that was share worthy and blah blah blah, I started doing this exercise where I would paint with my eyes closed. Just to, like, you know, I can't fault myself. I can't be like, oh yeah, the composition in this isn't right, or this isn't right, or that isn't right, because literally my eyes were closed. Like, I have next to no control of it. And I feel like that's almost like the ultimate form of intuitive painting, because you're literally, or maybe not because your eyes are closed, but you know what I mean? Like, you're just literally just trying to enjoy the process. And not gonna lie, I kind of like the artwork that I created with my eyes closed. I thought a lot of it was quite good. Definitely, obviously abstract, but a lot of fun. Oh, good night, E4. Thank you so much for joining. Rest well, my dear. I was going to look for my sketchbook to see if I can find one of the ones I created with my eyes closed. I finally finished a sketchbook after 4 years. Like, this one I've had for 4 years. So this is the one that I created. Can you? Oh, am I frozen? What's going on? Uh-oh. I can't see. I think my phone has overheated, not frozen. Does that mean you can see my phone? Because I can't. I feel like it's going to disappear for you guys soon, because there we go. There is a lag. Oh, I feel so warm because of the lights. Give me 2 minutes and this should come back up. See, I thought I forgot that there's a lag on YouTube, so it disappeared for me right before it disappeared for you. But hopefully, allow, mute. Hopefully, just give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Back camera. Oh yeah. Okay, are we back? We all good? Yeah. Hopefully it should be back for you guys in about 10 seconds. Okay, this is what I was trying to show you. Totally abstract, but I was trying to draw florals. So I was like, oh, this is actually, like, I really like it. I should paint more with my eyes closed, and I did, but I don't know where they are right now. Yeah, it's good. You can see it. Thank you. But see, it was like super fun and super low pressure because I was literally like, okay, look, it's getting ridiculous. You know, art, nothing can be perfect. And it wasn't that I was creating things that I wasn't that I didn't like. I think it was just I didn't like the pressure that I was putting on myself to create these things. So I was like, okay, cool. Till you get over this, you're gonna paint with your eyes closed. Oh, safe journey, Mercies, Cami. Get home safe. But yeah, I was basically like, until you can get over this, whatever phase this is, you're painting with your eyes closed. So I would like, so I didn't know what colors I was picking. I didn't really know what materials I was picking. I think to be fair, I think I opened my eyes once because I can't remember, like I couldn't find what I was going for. Like I couldn't, you know, it's almost like you need to go back in the middle. Like I couldn't see, well, obviously I couldn't see what I was doing. But I was trying to grab a pen or something and I couldn't grab anything. So opened my eyes once, grabbed what I was looking for, and then continued. I was like, this is a lot of fun. I should do more of it. Okay, let's add some greenery. The heels are alive. Da, 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 da. With songs, there's song. Something oddly satisfying about painting these stems. Also, any one of you happen to have like a green thumb? Need some plant advice. Because I do not have one. Though I keep trying. No, but I don't know how we initially Dark Roast. Initially I was singing Taylor's Oldest Time. You know that one? And it's back. I'm sure that's Beauty and the Beast, isn't it? And for some reason, I've now gone to "And the Winner Takes It All." Not at all. Even the succulents died. See, that's the thing. Mine too. I'm like, how is that even possible? I'd bought a rose bush. Like, you know, yeah, like I don't know how else to describe it, but like a bush of roses. Because I was like, okay, you know, I enjoy having fresh flowers, but obviously, like, you know, it costs quite a bit to buy fresh flowers all the time. So I thought, well, if I buy a bush of roses, like these small ones, they will last longer, and I'll always have like roses at home. Day 2 of it in my flat, it died. Like died, withered and died. I don't understand how that's even possible. Like it went from looking completely fine to like even the petals fell, the flowers shriveled up, the leaves shriveled up, everything just died. Yeah, no, it started off with Sound of Music, progressed to The Beauty of Beast, and then ended with ABBA. Don't really know what's happening. I know. I always said that it's a cat, an invisible cat in my place. But yeah, I don't know. I was like, why? Like, did I do? I don't even know if I can take credit for that one because I'm like, I didn't even have time to do anything wrong. Like, you know, initially when during 2020, time that shall not be named, um, I think because I was spending a lot of time at home. Well, not a lot of time, more time at home. I gave them a bit too much attention in terms of like all the plants in my place. So they all started to die then. But this time, like it was 2 days. So I don't know. If anyone watches this on the replay and like has suggestions, please let me know what you're meant to do with them, because I thought, oh yeah, this is perfect. I will have fresh flowers all the time. It will be plants with flowers. Why haven't I done this before? And then 2 days later, whereas like my other plants last longer, you know, they struggle, but they last longer. There was a point that I had 11 plants in my humble abode. Even repotted, like I even had one plant for like 3 years, which for me was phenomenal. That plant was resistant. And then even that one died. Maybe. Because, you know, can't have pets. So I was like, oh, it's just nice. And I really enjoyed, because, you know, I haven't had like flowers here in, like, I hadn't bought myself flowers or anything like that. But then my friends from secondary school bought me flowers. And I was like, this is awesome. And then I went to my friend's wedding and she gave me flowers as well. And that's like what I did that painting on Ko-fi on. And, you know, that's the last vlog that I did, the last art vlog that I did. That's basically the flowers in there, you know, with the purples and the blue roses, like everything. It was just absolutely stunning. And I think that's what kind of gave me a bit of the, oh, I want to I want to actually have flowers at home. I enjoy it. Shocker that someone who loves to paint flowers would also love to have them in her home. Were they miniature roses? Yeah, they were. They were tiny white roses. I don't know if they're specifically called miniature, but they were very small. I didn't even like get to take pictures of them. Do you know what I mean? Like when I say day 2, I mean that I bought them on, say, Monday. I'm counting Monday as day 1. By Tuesday night, when I came back from work, they were dying. And I was like, so I tried to water them. By Wednesday, dead. So I don't even have like any photos that I could use for reference or anything like that. No, what? I need another song in my head. Oddly enough, Brown Skin Girl then just came to my mind. Oh, the Mightier Pencil. There's no. Oh, they were so dead. I didn't know if they'd take them back, given, you know, the the status and how bad they were. But yeah, I should have returned them, because I think in hindsight, I don't know. I just don't feel like, as bad as they may or may not be, I don't even feel like I had the opportunity to cause that kind of damage, you know? To be, yeah. Next time. I may get some more. Not the same ones and not from the same place, but in general, I think I like the idea. And I think what I'll do is that every time I get them, I'll either do like videos or like, I mean, not every time maybe, but like, you know, paintings inspired by them. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I was not optimistic about this painting about halfway through, but I had to throw them away. They were like, you know, they say that having plants and flowers and stuff is like uplifting for the mood. I can guarantee dead flowers, not the same. The Mighty Pencil, I think you would be phenomenal at drawing and painting flowers, given that I've seen you paint everything else in a beautiful way. Look at it's rolling. Mind's a business, so mind's a waste. Yeah, so I wasn't optimistic, but I think we're winning. No way, that's incredible. I can't even. Like, I right now have, I don't even know the names anymore. One is called is it called the mother-in-law's tongue? You know what I mean? The like high, pretty ones. And the other one, I also can't remember the name. But basically, like, you know, I looked up and like, they were meant to be resilient plants. And to be fair, they kind of are like, they're still here, still fighting. Hey, Rachel, do I ever sleep? Excellent question. I don't even know the time anymore. What time is it? It's almost midnight. Okay, fine. Whoopsie. Sorry, my charger tried to destroy our setup. Sometimes those are just, oh no. Oh my goodness, that must be why they died, Colleen, because they weren't actually like, that might explain it. I feel like I've been hoodwinked. How's that even legal? Like, how's that legit? They know it's going to die then. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's roll and it's yeah, I think you're right. That would explain because they literally like they didn't even make it a day. So at least I know it was not me, but that probably means just don't buy them from there. Because I was genuinely confused. I was like this is unreal, and yeah. But that makes sense because I was thinking even if it was, you know, that I didn't water it enough or not enough sunlight, shouldn't take a day. Like, you know, that it looked like it had been poisoned. I'm running low on my Roman Schmall Quinn Gold Hue again. I finished one. This would mean that I would have finished 1.5 pan, which for me is wild. How are we feeling about this? I like this. I'm surprised. I'm not going to lie. I really thought it was going to be bad. Like, not at the beginning. At the beginning, I was hopeful. But then when I started struggling with the pinks, I was wondering, will it be good? Do you know what I want to do? Oh, gosh. No, you always wonder when you, like, start winning a battle if the next thing you're going to do is going to ruin it. But YOLO, innit? I already have lots of colors. What's a few more? Just wanted to add a bit more contrast, and I thought the nice way of doing that would be with some Indanthrone blue, which now probably you can't see clearly that it's blue. I don't know if you can tell, but I'll lift it up for you in a second and you will see why I don't regret it. This is cool. I think I initially like added it to my palette just because I wanted the color, but since I've been using it, I'm just like, oh, I should actually. I think that idea that E4 Al-Abbasi had was a great one of just dedicating some time to each art supply, because now I'm like, oh, I really want to have some time with like core as well. I mean, I'm sure I'll still use Roman Schwalm in the background. I can't even lie. This is the BaoHong paper, by the way. Yeah, no, I did buy it from the grocery store. You're 100% correct. So that is probably what they did. Because I was doing grocery shopping, as you do, and thought I would, treat myself. I was like, you know what? Feeling flowers at the moment. Enjoyed having them in my flat. I'm going to get a new set, and then it didn't quite work out that way. Well, that's okay. Oh, should I add? Feel like add some, for the sake of some balance, add some there, a little bit here, some here, some here. I think I'm going to add ink to this one. I mean, like, why not? It feels completely different to what I normally do, for me anyway. Ooh. Let's see. Just want like super, super light blue to just give the hint of glass, and then I'll ink it in. So this is what we have at the moment. Oh, thank you, Colleen. Yeah, I love the core colors as well. Have I got the core Quin Gold? I can't even remember. This is the thing. I can't even fully remember all the colors that I have. I do want to dedicate time to just swatching out all the colors. That subscriber that I mentioned that I met up with and we went for coffee and stuff, she's like a huge inspiration, and she brought her swatch book and it was like perfection. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So it definitely like inspired me to just swatch out all my watercolors. So this is what we have at the moment. Oh, bye Franny, thank you so much for joining. So yeah, this is what we have at the moment. Can you see the Indanthrin blue by Core as well? Now I'm gonna ink it. Ooh. Oh, this is annoying. It's my my phone charger. Like they're dancing. Yeah, I need to bring out all my core colors. Where's my Happy Mail palette? I think it's in my first drawer. And explore. Maybe I'll do a by. So So let's start inking. So this is the Lamy Safari pen. It has carbon ink, and the reason that I always mention that when I talk about the two is because the ink is waterproof. So it's not their normal Lamy ink. I got like separate ink bottle so that when I'm doing urban sketches and I go in with pen first, I don't have to worry about it running when I add watercolor. I'm just going in and adding some rough lines. Just really like since I've started sketching with fountain pens, it's like I can't put them down, and I can see why creating cute art loves them. That being said, I'm sure she has like her ones are much better than the ones that I've got, but it's just nice. Like it makes my sketches, my drawings a little bit more fun and have more character, different line widths. I did take it on holiday with me. I took it empty first. Yeah, I took it empty basically because I didn't want it to like go wild on a plane. And that kind of worked and kind of didn't, in the sense that I still wanted the carbon ink, right? So I didn't take cartridges with me. What I instead did was carry the carbon ink with me and add it to my liquids allowance. And because I was paranoid, because it's black ink that's, you know, permanent, water resistant, yada, yada, I put it in a separate bag inside my water, my liquids bag. And that, for reasons unknown, even though it's like sealed shut and whatever, let out ink. Not a massive amount, but definitely enough that if I hadn't put it in the bag, it would have gotten everywhere. And that happened twice. So it doesn't like the pressure in the planes, basically. So for my next holiday, I'm going to have to figure out how to carry it with me. Might just have to get another container. I'll probably just get like a small cream container or something and add it and see if that works a bit better. I'm just, obviously there's the alternative, or just don't carry the fountain pen, but it's like once you go fountain, it's hard to go back. Yeah, oh my gosh, cord just runs across the page like mad. They are indeed expensive, but I do think that the high chroma set are the best colors, like the super bright ones. That's what I like anyway. What are the TWSBI? Does that stand for something, or did they? That's literally what they've called it. And I've also recently got a Kaweco pen, like a Kaweco Sport pen. I haven't used it yet. Once I do, I will let you know. But yeah, I just really feeling the fountain pens. And I'm going away for another wedding. Like, oh, guys, so many people are getting married, and like destination weddings seem to be the thing that everyone's loving at the moment. And I don't envy them. Yeah, sorry, not envy. I don't blame them, because I would want a destination wedding. Like, honestly, who does not want a holiday as well? But it is a lot of traveling in a short period of time, because yeah, a lot of weddings. The acronym. Oh, I see. Is that pen refillable? It is indeed. This Lamy Safari, yeah. So you can, undo it here. And then it has the cartridge here. So it comes with like, you know, a normal ink cartridge, but what I got was one of these. If you remember the name, please tell me. don't remember what you call these, but essentially you can refill them. So I have a bottle of ink and then I dip this in, I twist it when it's empty, and the plunger moves up and sucks up the ink into this bit of the cartridge. And then you can just keep reusing it, which is good, you know, less waste as well. I think the last time I filled it was a bit of a struggle because it's not usually this messy. Oh, the converter, thank you. Thank you, gods and heroes. Let me... So yeah, you can refill it. So then you can refill it with any ink that you want in theory. It doesn't have to be, you know, the carbon ink or a certain thing. You just clean it in between uses. How? I don't know. I don't really anticipate that I would want like I'm happy with the black ink, you know. And I think if I wanted to add like you know, sepia or like blue ink, then I would probably, this is me, just get like a different pen so that I would have like, I would add to the black, not replace it. But that's just because I like adding black ink. And before this, it was with the, you know, fine liners, whether they be the Pentel ones or the Unipin ones or the Microns. I thought the Microns were okay. To be fair, I stopped using them because I couldn't tell the difference between them and the others, and they cost more for what I use. Oh, have I wonder if I've seen this. I'll have to like look it up after. But yeah, you know, because obviously I watched Creating Cute Art, I've been thinking, you know, she loves fountain pens and shares like lots of great knowledge about them, as does Moni actually. But I kept telling them like, look, I cannot afford to fall in love with another type of art supply. Like I can't get into it. Oh, thank you. That would be super helpful, gods and heroes. I was like, don't let me fall in love with fountain pens or inks. That's the other thing, because you know they use them in such a beautiful way, almost like watercolors. I'm like, no, especially like of late, I've really been drawn to mixed media. So I've got the Neocolor 2s, like I've got a few Neocolor 2s, very few Neocolor 1s, but still some. I have some alcohol markers as well. So there's just like an array of different supplies that I want to like play around with. But I'm definitely curious to see this fountain pen. The warm grey Pitt artist pen by Fabre Castell. I know, so I was and ahhing about getting some, not on necessarily of the warm grey, but they were having the sets on sale, like, you know, last week in the Faber Castell sale on Jackson's. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but they're like water soluble markers, correct? They just looked so nice, and I kind of thought like, oh, maybe they could be in place of Ecoline. Basically, what I was thinking in my head was like, okay, if I'm doing mixed media pieces, I will start off with watercolors as well as like watercolor markers, and then build on top of that with my gouache and my neocolors. And that's what I've really been enjoying doing. Like a lot of the pieces that I showed you from the sketchbook that I did during the Ko-fi live, that's what I was doing. I was using like multiple different types of medias and like layering them. And I kind of thought that the markers would lean well into that. But I just about managed to stop myself. Oh, don't use India ink. Have you seen this message, a watercolorist? From a watercolorist. But yeah, you know how I picked carbon ink was basically Tio Chi. He made a video. I mean, he's made videos on everything. I don't even know how he does it. He like has a full-time job and still gives so much to the art community. But he created a video basically talking about inks for fountain pens for like urban sketches. And he was reviewing how like water soluble they are or whether they're water resistant, which ones are like fountain pen safe, and which like they're ones that he's used. So if you're interested in that, he would be a really good one to watch. And I think he was reviewing, I don't know if they were primarily black inks. I think there may have been, but I think that's definitely like a good place to start if you're not sure, because there are some inks that will damage your pen. So far so good. I've been using the Lamy for like 6 months now with the carbon ink. Refilled it 3 times. Haven't had issues as of yet, and hopefully won't have any. They are pigment based and waterproof. Oh, are they waterproof? I didn't know that. I thought they were water soluble, but if they're waterproof, that perhaps makes a bit more sense. Dana, that is so me. Like this week when they released the acrylic sale, no disrespect to those who love acrylic, I was just like, ugh. But in a way, I was like, okay, this is good. You know, it means I'm not buying anything this week, but I always look forward to their sale. Maybe double check. Do they have different types of Pitt pens? Could that be why? Yeah, for now, what I'm going to be doing is using more of my watercolors. That's how basically I had to stop myself. I was like, okay, just use your watercolors. And if you can't use your watercolors, then use use your acrylic gouache. And if you can't use your acrylic gouache, use your normal gouache, but do not buy any markers. And then also I told myself, okay, or not worst case scenario, but I also have alcohol markers, right? So I was like, if I want something that's water resistant, then I'll use alcohol markers. If I want something that's water soluble, then I should just use my watercolors for now. I'm sure at one point Jackson's will do another sale. I will have a weak moment and I will buy those pens. The grey ones are waterproof. No, double check. I did think they were water, because yeah, I thought they were pigment. I don't know. I thought they were water soluble. Okay, so this feels very different to my normal. That being said, can you see what it was inspired by? Oh, should I add some gold? Why not? No, should I? Yeah. Yeah, so Durwood, that's the set I wanted to get. You know, that's the one that I was contemplating. The one that's here, it's £99 for 30 double-sided Pitt brush pens, and then like the fine liners, and then something else and something else and something else. They are also waterproof. Why? Must have been wrong then. I don't know. Maybe that's why people use it as a base then. Oh, good night, watercolorist. Thank you so much for joining, and sleep well. Who was here for that live stream that I did that was so long and so late that the US folk had to go to sleep and the UK folk started waking up? And I saw the sunrise. Yeah, it looked like a good set. That's the one that I was literally like, and in. Should I get? Should I not get? Because I like the fact that it's brush nib. There were brush nibs as well. Just adding some touches of gold here, there, and everywhere. Melissa, are you waving? Ah, so they are waterproof. I can't believe. Yeah, why did I think they were water soluble? Weird. Anyway, I know now. Well, that's the thing. If they were, I thought artist Pitt pens, Tombow, and Ecoline were all like competitors in terms of like water soluble with brush nibs. Only that Tombow, I believe, are not light fast. I believe the Faber Castell ones are light fast, which is why they have like less colors. Ah, that's probably what I'm thinking. Oh, you're raising your hand. What did I miss? That is helpful. Let me put that up so others. Oh my god, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I commend you for being there for that live stream. It was impressive. But yeah, I just enjoy doing live streams. I think I enjoy creating art, and there's just something nice about creating art with you guys as well, you know. I can't remember what I was doing. I think we started at like 3 a.m. or something. Dark roast. Pitt artist pens are archival. Okay, cool. I've got it. There. You know what? That doesn't put me off them, although I thought that they were water soluble. But that makes it even better because in theory it means that it makes even more sense that I was thinking of them as something that I could use for like a base layer and then paint on top and then draw on top and then do all those things on top. Oh, good. Hey, Amy. I'm glad. Yeah, honestly, we should do that again. I joined Emma Carlisle's Patreon, um, which was a lot of fun. I think I happened to join on her like 3rd year anniversary, so they were doing a Zoom call. Anyway, during it, she was saying how for the 2nd year anniversary, she did a 24-hour live stream. Well, I think it was a 24-hour Zoom call, which to me is wild. I don't think I could do 24 hours, but I could do a few hours, I think. It's funny, a Nigerian girl, I say girl, but a Nigerian woman just broke the Guinness World Record for cooking for the longest amount of time. She cooked for 100 hours. Just, I think, was it last week? And I was like, I wonder if there's one for painting. No, I remember I was so impressed. Yeah, no, that was a debate. That was a debate whether Faber Castell Pitt pens were waterproof or water soluble. But I think I was actually mixing their. I thought they were water soluble, but they are actually waterproof. I think, yeah. Everyone has now confirmed they are waterproof. I still kind of want them though. I think kind of makes me want them more. Don't know. With time. All good things come with time. I wonder if I can just, for the meantime, like I said, I was trying to like comfort myself out of, why I don't need to get any more art supplies. So I just told myself I will try using alcohol markers in place of Pitt pens. They're not the same thing at all, but at least the alcohol markers shouldn't like lift with the paint. What is she making? How can I get some? Oh, see, I'm tempted. You'd be down for a 24-hour live stream. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it. I was thinking like, oh, would we do it for my YouTube anniversary? But I think that like coincides with Christmas. So that's probably not the greatest of times to be doing that. But maybe in July for like my Kofi anniversary, I'll do 24 hours. I don't know. I don't know if I could do 24 hours. Would I be completely delirious? I think it depends on what I would have to do. Not have to do, but what I would be doing, right? Because I think I saw an artist called, I don't know why I always try to like remember names. I'm like lying to myself. I don't remember, but an artist on Instagram who creates like really abstract art. She did a 24 hours, I think they call it like a subathon, something like that. But she was basically like live for 24 hours. And but she wasn't like speaking to the camera. Do you know what I mean? It was just that there was a camera. She was in a box. Sounds so weird. She was in a box and there was a camera there watching her paint, sleep, eat, everything for 24 hours. And that, I think, I mean, it's perhaps a little bit weird, but that I think I could, could be done. Not that I would do it, but as in like I can see how that would work. But to talk for 24 hours, I think would be a lot. And I think if I didn't talk and I just sat here painting quietly, you guys would think I was depressed. It'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Like you'd literally come and watch me paint in silence. But maybe a paint challenge, yeah, maybe like if I did a 10-hour paint challenge, I could do it live. And also, Melissa, this is super helpful. Thank you. Art and coffee stream. Don't drink your paint water at 23 hours. Yeah, I would be delirious, right? Yeah, that's the thing. People were watching her sleep though. And she also had a toilet in the box. Just putting it out there, and then she had like a tally of the number of times she went to the toilet. I popped in and out during the live streams, but yeah, she wasn't like talking to anyone. She wasn't reading the comments or anything like that. So it was like a bit different, I think. But I would want to like read the comments and chat with you. I just don't know if I could talk continuously for that long. Maybe I'll do it when we hit 10,000 subscribers. Set an impossible target. When we hit, maybe I'll do it one for each milestone. Then again, would I do 100 hours for 100,000 subs? I think that would be too much. But again, I saw that was on, I think it was on like Discord. It was like one of these streaming sites. And he streamed for, I think it was like over 100 hours. It was a really, really long time. And that's a question open to the group. Anyone have any good lamp suggestions? I do not, because I use filming lights. Like I use a softbox so that I'm able to like film, but it takes up a lot of space and it's not practical, I think, if you're not filming. See, one of my friends suggested this, that it would be like a long stream, like a 24-hour stream, but maybe like every 4 hours I would ask a friend to come and do a live stream and stream for like an hour so that I could sleep or, you know, have a break, you know, not lose my voice. Oh, enjoy dinner, Colleen. Thank you so much for joining. And hey, Bewitchcraft. Welcome. And thank you for the suggestion. I hope you're seeing this word off light. Oh, perfect. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. It feels very different to my usual. Okay. I was wondering the most random of things because I'm like, it's technically 18 minutes past midnight, which means it's the 22nd of May, but I feel like this was actually created on the 21st of May. So I'm going to date it the 21st of May. Thank you. And yeah, I agree. Yeah, I feel like it was created on the 21st as well. So I'll date it the 21st and leave it. And then this. So these are the two pieces. Oh, should I write on the back actually? I'll look back on the live stream to see when the other one was created, but page 75. Page 75. Can't remember what page this one was, but again, this one was on the 21st of May, 23. And guys, I had such a good time. I don't know. Part of me wants to continue. The other part of me feels like I should probably go to sleep. So I am going to love you and leave you. Have this on here. Yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you to Ko-fi members for sponsoring this. And thank you all for joining and for watching. And I kind of oh yeah, I guess if you're still watching, so for those on the replay and for those watching still, if you want to leave it in the comments, let me know you're still watching by telling me which painting is your favorite, whether it is the first one that's a square or the second one with the multiple vases. But yeah, with that, I will leave you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being MVPs and for being super awesome. And I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week. Bye. You could say both, by the way, Bewitch. If you like both, tell me you like both. Okay. I'll see you guys next time, which will be whenever this laptop mess is sorted. Bye.